So.
Okay.
So if you want Keith to leave, I'll ask Keith nicely to leave. If you don't want Keith to leave, then he can sit here
Say
and
let's
listen
press
to you,
on. We'll press on.
and we'll move on to the next stages. But I want to give you that opportunity first. But obviously everything's fearful. If you tell him to leave and what I'm going to say is benign, then he's going to, we can pull him back in the room like, hey, Keith, come back in. This is what we talked about. So that fear of him wigging out, why is she trying to hide something from me? There is none. If you can help me.
Yeah, there's no trick here. We're just trying to make sure that
Yeah,
you're as comfortable to talk as you can be to talk to us, truthfully.
they're asking you, they're not asking me. Obviously, I would want to be here and whatever needs to come out.
And you can change your mind in the future too, if you
But no
want to
matter
change
what,
it.
it's gonna get out, so.
Like I said in the beginning, you're free to go. So if you wanted to chat with them privately, that's fine too, but we want to talk to you.
And we can leave the room, give you guys the room for a couple minutes. This next stage of things could be benign, could be like, we forgot to tell you this, or, oh yeah, all of these things make sense now. I could tell you the puzzle that makes it all come together, or I can tell the puzzle that crashes everything apart. I don't know what that piece is, honestly. All I know is facts. All I know is certain specific items that will either tear the castle down or is going to build the castle up. And I don't want to tear the castle down and not give you the ability to then fix your own castle. Even if it's just a small thing here or it's the whole castle, I want you to be able to choose that. So we can step out of the room, let you guys talk, because I don't know what information I'm going to do, if it's life-changing news or if it's, oh yeah, everything's fine. I just don't know what it is. Usually, right, we show the pictures because everybody's invested in this picture. Keith do the drawings. Keith's the one who gave this stuff. So Keith has always been a part of your memory for small details. And that's why Keith's been in here this whole time. And that's why.
He makes me feel safe in you.
Well, if he makes you feel safe too, we can
So-
continue on.
Go
And then you can
Can I
change your mind.
talk to him?
Absolutely. And again, I just don't know what the pieces are. So if I would say, hey, this is gonna bring the whole world down, I'd tell you, this is gonna bring the whole world down. And then we need to talk alone. Or I would suggest we talk alone. But that's completely up to you guys, because I don't know.
I just want to talk to
Yeah,
him. I just want to-
we'll be right back.
You need to stop what you're doing and tell me the truth. I don't like anything that's happening. Yeah, whatever you're doing, it doesn't mean stuff to me. Okay, but I said I know what's going on, so you need to explain to me.
I don't give a shit about that. I don't want them to find her. I don't want them to find her. I don't want her to be arrested. I don't want to press charges on her. I don't want to find her.
Explain to me right now that you're prescribed.
I don't know. I don't want them to find her. You're not listening
But
to
tell
me.
me why.
Because she saved my life.
But tell me, honey, there's obviously something going on. There's obviously something going on. Tell me this is going to be really bad if you don't tell me.
Look at how you're being right now.
I am.
I'm fucking with you.
No, I'm not being.
I don't want them to find her. I don't want to press charges, and I don't want to go down that road.
But you tell her?
I don't want to go down that road. I don't
Tell
want
me
to
why.
arrest her because she saved my life, and she's the reason why I get to hold my children every single day.
In this
I don't want to get in trouble for lying to the police. I don't want them to
But when you
fucking
lied
find
to
her.
her,
I don't want.
what did you lie on?
I don't want them to arrest her
Why?
because she saved my life.
So you don't press charge. They still need to find out who it is. No matter what happens, you think this just sits here? This comes out, they find the house, it's over. Whatever happened is over. And it doesn't matter what you say, they're gonna the girl's gonna get in trouble. So, you need to tell them the truth, everyone the truth. If you don't wanna press charges, then that's up to you.
I think I can do that.
You're not making sense to me. To the point where I'm getting scared now. So you need to tell me what's going on immediately. Yeah. Or I can walk in and tell him what you're thinking. So just do you want me in the room or not?
And obviously,
Hopefully you've had a chance to chat briefly.
the fears,
Later, maybe. But I'd rather you just answer the question.
nothing that I'll say to you, I won't eventually tell him if you want me to.
Do you want me to just tell him what your fears are?
We would love to hear what your fears are, because we want to be able to address them as best we can.
I don't know.
Yeah, I feel like you're in the driver's seat right now.
I think it's easier to control things once you know what the information is, to be honest with you, Sherri. So I can tell you what it is, say what it is when Keith leaves, and then you can say yes or no, whether or not you want him in there for the rest of it.
For right now, he's just, am I in the room or am I out of the room? So that's the.
And I'm to the point where if you want him here, we'll just go on with the conversation.
As long as you're not interrupting or
Yeah.
causing a
I'll
disturbance.
stay over here.
But if he steps out, I can say a name, and then you can choose whether you want him in here for the rest of it or not. It's completely up to you. Or I can just continue on, and again, like I said, I wanted you to always have control over certain aspects of stuff. We're not to a point where anybody's going to jail yet. We're not to a point of anything like that. We're just still at the talking stage. We're at the control stage.
You seem scared, Sherri.
No, it's not scary.
What is it? When you don't answer, Sherri, it makes me concerned because I want to hear what your answers are, and I want to be able to understand.
The only way to control things is for us to know.
I don't want you to find her.
We're not going to find her.
She's the reason why I get to see my children every day.
I agree, but we're not going to find her.
She's the reason? What do you mean by that?
She means the younger one let her go. Right? That's what you're referring to? We're not going to find her. And we can just skip to the rock into the water and ruffle up the pond if we want to now. Again, this is your last this is the last time if you want to do this alone or with Keith. Keith's been through this also on a different level. So I'm ready I'm ready to move on and throw the dart and throw the rock and see what happens to the water. But Sherri, look at me. What do you want?
I don't want her to get in trouble.
She's not going to get in trouble. So the DNA came back to James Reyes.
The DNA that was on you belongs to James Reyes.
The picture in the, can I get the picture? The picture of the table is James Reyes' little brother. He died recently. We talked to him, he's been on a polygraph, we talked to everybody around him, we have the rental agreements, phone rental, the car rental agreements, we have everything that says that he said he told the truth.
That's James' brother, deceased, Nick.
So everything, you've told us so many truths in this situation. The reason why you can describe the room is because you stayed in the room in the dark for hours, for days on end. The reason why you lost so much weight is because you stopped eating. The reason why you got a rash on your arm was because you cleaned his house. The reason why the brand is because he went to the store, bought the branding tools, and branded you. The reason why your nose was broke is because of a hockey stick. I know all of those things, and I know there was no sex. I know all of that because he passed a polygraph test that said it's not an abduction. She asked me to come get her.
No.
I rented a car.
No.
I drove up and picked her up. He passed the polygraph test, Sherri.
If that's not what happened, what did happen, Sherri?
I don't know. No, there's no way. It's James. There's no way. There's no way.
The DNA doesn't lie.
His DNA
His
is,
DNA was on you.
his
There's
brother,
no way.
Robert saw you in the house while you were down there. While everything
Who's
spun out
Robert?
of control, his cousin. Why everything ran out of control on the initial.
There's no way.
It's 100% Robert's, or James's DNA.
We even collected blonde hairs from the room.
There's no way it's James. There's no way.
Tell you that it is.
Why are you saying it's not James? Why are you saying it's not?
He loved me.
What's that?
We were friends.
Mhm.
There's no way.
And he came and got you because you asked him.
No.
When was the last time you had contact with James?
His brother died.
Brother died in 2017. Is that right?
I don't remember.
Was it before or after the abduction?
Before.
Before.
When was the last time you saw James?
I don't know. Forever ago, when I lived in Southern California.
So the last person-to-person contact you had with him was back in 2006? When you were living in Southern California?
I don't know.
So
Was it prior to your marriage?
It's him. There is no way it's him.
well, it is
The
James.
DNA tells us that it was his
Well-
DNA on you.
The DNA alone says it's him. And when we talked to him, confront him with the DNA,
He told us what happened.
he 100% told us what happened.
And gave us details that nobody else would know.
And we can call him and we can all talk about it. But ultimately, can you look at me for a second? Ultimately, we put him on a polygraph like we did Keith. Keith was inconclusive, to be honest with you, on whether he was involved or not. But 100% James was telling the truth. The questions were, did Sherri ask you to come pick her up? He answered yes. That was the truth on a polygraph. We asked him if the two of you ever had sex. The answer was no.
During 2016.
During 2016, during the abduction, he said no. That was the truth. We asked him if you asked him to brand you. The answer was yes. And he passed the polygraph on all of those questions. He took us to the stores where he bought the chain. We talked to the friend who rented the car. The car that he rented drove over 900 miles in a day on the drop-off point.
Sure, I know this is a lot to take in.
All
But
of
it's not
the-
like we don't know the answers to these questions.
And the fear of Keith's reaction, obviously now he's in the room, the fear of media, the fear of all of these things are coming forward. They're in front of you now. The only way to get a hold of it, the only way for everybody to come together and heal, the whole community has to heal, is for us to be able to say, when we presented all of the evidence, all of the stuff that came forward, you told us the truth. You told us what happened. Because you did go in a dark room, that's true. You did lay in the back seat of a car, that's true. You did lose weight, you were branded, your hair was cut. You did have bruises all over. But how those bruises got there are because you did it and James did some. The reason why your nose got broke is because you held the hockey stick to your face and he forced it into your nose. The reason why the brand is in a straight line is because he did it. He described exactly where it was. He told us exactly how he did it, where he did it, how he did it. Only you and I and maybe 5 other people know where the brand was. He told me immediately. Robert told friends and family you were there. His mom knew that you were there because of course it went news and everybody knew you guys dated. Everybody knew you guys had a relationship. So when it happened, of course, family reached out to him. He told him, yeah, she was here. But it said it hurt her. I didn't hurt her. So,
What are you thinking, Sherri?
That doesn't make any sense.
Why doesn't it make sense?
what actions doesn't make sense?
A lot of it doesn't make sense.
Can we talk about those?
No.
James' DNA was confirmed on your clothing. The two of you haven't seen each other in over a decade. You told me that you haven't been in his room, you haven't had contact with him in over 10 years. However,
You described his bedroom to a T.
and the DNA on you was still a vibrant piece of DNA. 10-year-old DNA dies. The DNA that was there specifically was non-seminal fluid, was seminal fractions. You got that from his house somewhere. So whether it was the bed that you were sleeping on, whether it was the couch, whether it was anywhere in there. When somebody would come to the door and be around the property, you'd call James, James would call Robert, which is those 2 doors down. Robert would run people off the property. Robert told me all of that. James told me everything. So the only person that hasn't started telling us certain facts, there are certain facts that are true. When we were sitting there talking to James, there were so many truths that were a part of your story that it's hard to decipher the lies until we put it all together. Until he says, hey, how did you pick her up? I opened up the passenger side seat, I opened the door, you jumped in the back seat. Why'd you do that? Why'd you do that? I don't know. It was weird. So are you calling James a liar? Are we not believing James what he told me?
No.
I know you're scared.
I cannot believe that it is James.
I can't believe James told us the truth. That's what I can't believe. He passed a polygraph, Sherri.
So did Keith.
No, he didn't. He was inconclusive. And he was involved.
So James is involved. But I don't.
James picked you up. You called James to pick you up. You mailed him a letter with your address. You used a burner phone to call another burner phone for James to come and get you.
You're saying since you're married you haven't called James?
No, I have called James.
Because earlier you said you had contacted James. Because phone records show that you do. You did. The phones don't lie, the DNA doesn't lie, Sherri.
His polygraph doesn't lie.
So you can go a couple different directions now.
His story.
I've already told you lying to me is a crime. So you walk out the door telling lies, and that's a crime.
I think we need my lawyer. This isn't making any sense.
What's not making sense, Sherri? The parts that
That
don't make
it's
sense.
James.
No, the parts that don't make sense are that you're accusing 2 females who abducted you when it was James. The part that you were branded, James did it. He told me he did it. Who would sit there and say, I branded Sherri on her right shoulder blade? Who does that?
And told us how and showed us the letters that matched the brand.
Took us to the store and pointed out the letters. The problem is today's the cases are resolved. Everything, the only things, well, how do we prove that you're telling us the truth? How do we prove that the truth is that 2 women took you, but I'm telling you it's a male? The fact that you were branded is true. The small fact is that you willingly laid down and did it versus being tied to a table. So we could do the polygraph and try to, whatever parts are you're confused about.
Can you go? Is that what you said?
Can I talk to you outside real quick? Or wait?
That's fine. The fears of how out of control everything got, the fear of all these things is the reality. And the only people that can slow the train down is you and I. You put yourself through this so when you came forward you can tell certain stories. You missed you couldn't control the DNA that we found. You couldn't control when we talked to James, he'd tell us what happened. The story always was hard for anybody to understand. The tragedy that the community went through, the events that unfolded, the fear now of what it all means. But there's without a doubt, James's DNA was on you. The likelihood of it being an ex-boyfriend is a problem. It's astronomical. Then you add in, when we go talk to people who've never even heard of us, when we say, hey, what's going on here, they knew that you were at the house. All of them never came forward. No what? Do you want to call James? This was a long road. I had no idea what it was going to take me. But right now, continuing and saying that 2 girls took you is a lie to Peter. It's just a lie. Because we were able to prove it with evidence. With a rental car agreement, person driving 1,000 miles in a day, the DNA on you, and him passing a polygraph, it's 3 legs to a table that can stand.
Kate's gonna wait out there. Now's your opportunity. Based on your reaction previously, what you're telling me is you did not call James and ask him to come get you? Is that what you're saying? Because if that's what you're saying, I have to understand that. There are things he says that we can corroborate, and whatever you say, we're going to try and corroborate. But right now, I'm not sure what you're saying. You're just saying you can't believe it's him. And you're saying you don't understand. But there are details he provided. We know you were in his house. We collected hairs from that bedroom. That's going to have DNA on it. We already have your hairs that you left with your cell phone when you were picked up.
You have my DNA, obviously.
So that's not going to lie either. The descriptions you provided are that room and that house to a T, except it's not a gravel driveway. And it's not elevated. And there's not 2 women who live there.
But James lives there.
James lives there.
You know James lives there.
So you might as well get it out of your head that James is not involved, because James is clearly involved. And James already told us he's the one that did the brand.
That's something that he admitted to mayhem. He admitted to a felony you can put him in prison over.
So it doesn't jive. So now it's your opportunity to say, Were there issues between you and Keith? Is that why you needed to leave? I mean, we read your text message. We're already aware of some issues, but enlighten us if that's the case. If there was a valid reason for you to leave, let me know what that was.
James said you had your jaw broken by him, and that's why he came and got you, because you were in an abusive relationship.
I love my husband.
So, were you in an abusive relationship with him? Have you told other people in your life that, like China, that Keith has abused you in the past when that wasn't true? China told me that day 2, where there was an incident at a party that you got hurt playing, like, I don't know, Wii or Pictionary or something, and then you told other friends that Keith hurt you. When there was witnesses at the party that said that you got hurt during a party. But then you go tell James that you were being hurt, you were being abused, and you couldn't come forward because Keith has friends in law enforcement. If all of that, is that true? Has Keith ever been abusive towards you?
We are not talking about my husband. I
Okay.
love my husband.
So why leave? Is James lying to us?
I don't want to leave my husband. I want to be with my children. I would never leave my children.
But
You didn't leave them permanently. You came back to them. Ultimately,
No.
you left them every day at daycare, so it's not like, hey. And James talked about that decision when you were driving down, how hard that was. You left at 10 o'clock knowing that Keith was going to get home late, knowing you were going to leave the kids at daycare, and how much that tore you up on the drive down. You told us that. Then things got out of
James
control.
and I talked about that. We did talk about that before. When I went out of town for work.
what happened?
Always talking to other guys. Oh my god, why did I do that?
Like when you were in Eureka, you give them a call? Just start chatting with them? Told them some of your problems? And when did it turn from just chatting to this plan to get away?
No.
You were getting a hold of Donovan Mitski the night before.
Why did I do that?
We're trying to understand why you did that too.
We're trying to understand all of it.
I don't know how this is happening because I was doing that.
Doing
It's
what?
such an awful choice. Talking to other guys that has got me here.
So, what aspect are you saying? Like, how does talking to other people got you here? We've gotten
I
over.
love my husband. And I made mistakes and I talked to other men that I shouldn't have.
But we took it a step farther this time.
This is a little different than just chatting with them. I appreciate you talking and being forthright about the other guys you were talking to. When did it turn into something more? Obviously, you never would have imagined that CNN in 2020 and Good Morning America would care about you wanting to leave Keith or wanting to teach him a lesson
No.
or wanting to get him in line.
No, I was just talking to James and you don't want to leave my husband.
Right,
I
but
love my husband.
how are you
Just
talking?
talking to James.
How are you talking to James?
I don't want to leave my
How-
husband.
Sure. How were you talking to James? On your cell phone or another cell phone?
My work cell phone. I don't want to leave my husband. I don't want to leave my husband.
This was more
What's
like
your-
just a flirt.
What's your work cell phone number?
Remember?
What's that?
I don't remember.
How long were you guys talking?
I don't know.
Why would he rent a car and come and get you?
I don't know.
Well, if you don't know that, why would you get in the car and go down to Costa Mesa?
Those are all things we can verify, Sherri.
I want
The car rental,
home.
the fuel, the mileage, the calls from you to him, the burner phone, all of that can be proven.
It's horrible.
I don't think you're a horrible person, Sherri. I think things went a little sideways on you.
We started this conversation off that nobody knew what this was gonna turn into. I didn't know that I'd have people stand on boxes in front of my office, that Keith would be on 2020.
I want my husband, I want my children. I'm so stupid for talking to other guys.
But why did James come and get you? I know you guys were talking. I know you've said in the past that Keith has hurt you to other friends. Why tell them those details if that stuff's not true? It's one thing to talk. It's one thing to talk. It's another thing to say abuse is occurring. Everybody I talk to about James says he's the nicest person in the whole world. Yeah, he may be a hockey player, but he is the nicest person in the world. He's nice to a fault. I know lots of people. I don't know anybody I'd run a car for and drive 9 hours for. Keith, James did that for you.
He was helping you.
He never asked you why. He never questioned anything.
He never put reward money on the line.
He never asked for anything. He didn't ask for sexual relations. He didn't ask for a relationship after you. He didn't ask for anything. He's never even talked to you since.
And yet he stayed quiet until now.
And the only reason why he talked is because we have his DNA. That's the only reason why we got to his door. That's the only thing that led us to his closet. That's the only thing that led us to the bathroom that was goofy. And that's the only reason why he started talking to us. Once he showed us the bedroom and we started pointing out the holes in the wall, like, you used to have this boarded up, huh? And he said, yeah.
Sherri asked me to put boards up.
Nobody's ever going to be able to answer why decisions were made.
Except for James. I don't understand.
You don't understand what? What parts are you not
Sherri,
understanding?
He even showed us, Sherri, he even showed us the letters that were used for the brand and the numbers. I got pictures of them right here. This is the set that was used.
What did the Bible verse mean to you?
How would he have known that?
Why did you pick that Bible verse? Did James pick the Bible verse? We need to be able to control the outcome and what's going to happen next. The only thing we know is going to happen right now is what you can tell us and what you can shed light on, and for other people to be able to try to understand. If it was a mistake, it was a mistake. But at this point, not telling us what happened, not telling us the truth is another mistake. It's a mistake on top of a mistake. Right now, we can start over. We can end. We can leave without a dirty conscience, without the what's going to happen next. Right now,
Deep down inside, Sherri, I know you know what's right and what you should do, and you should come clean.
Why did you ask James to come and get you? You asked Donovan the night before to come meet up with you. Everything happened at once. You were asking
That's a stupid thing to do.
The thing about it is we were able to prove that Donovan never came up here. But now we can prove that James did. We have the records to prove it.
I don't understand.
Although you might not think it was a good idea now, 2020 hindsight. At the time, why did you ask him to come pick you up? Was that an I don't know? What's that?
Can't be James.
It is James. We can
Sherri,
call
the
James.
DNA doesn't lie. His DNA was on you. Your DNA is going to be in that room.
1 in septillion that it was James. I don't even know how many zeros septillion is, to be honest with you.
That's why, despite your description of how far you might have gone in the car, we already went down there. We knocked on his door. We took those pictures. He understood that the DNA didn't lie, so he came clean. Now it's your chance to do the same. And if you don't, you're going to be shaking your head later and say, I should have told him what happened.
Talk to me like that.
Like what?
There's so many fears right now that we can't even wrap our head around it. There's too many unknowns that we can't control. We can't control what the media is going to do. We can't control what everybody's going to think. The only thing we can control right now is to control that James told us the truth, and that's a yes or a no. What did James lie about? What did James lie to us about? Of the things I've told you.
I don't know. I don't know. I just don't know. There's just no way it can be James. I just don't know. I don't know.
It is James. That's not even a question anymore.
We know you were in that room. That's already clear.
You described everything in the room.
What you're saying is it wasn't James that came and picked you up by the mailboxes? Is that what you're saying? There's still 2 females? Is that what you're saying, Sherri?
At the end of everything, once you had to have known that this was going to come at some point.
I was talking to my fault.
What's that?
This is all my fault. I was talking to so many guys.
Well, we know
Such
you.
a stupid thing to do.
Yeah, but then how did we get to Costa Rica? Or sorry, Costa Mesa? Wherever I was. How did we get to LA? There's a big jump and a leap from talking to men to getting in a car with somebody. But that getting in a car with somebody is somebody you had a relationship with. He told us about the abortion. He told us about your guys' relationship. He told us about things that I don't know if you've ever told anybody about. He told us so many things. And he did it all for you. Nobody else. He got nothing out of this.
And you're welcome to go home, Sherri. But right now is your opportunity to tell us the truth. And
Can't be.
are you saying that it was 2 females that picked you up? What's that? Every time I ask that question, it seems like you don't answer it.
This can't be happening.
We sat in a room, you drew out 2 people in a sketch, Sherri. Are those 2 people the ones that took you? It's a yes or no.
I don't know.
Well, you were pretty clear when I asked you earlier, what did the younger one do? You said the younger one pointed a gun at you.
She was there.
She wasn't. It was just James.
Not me.
James was 2 hours late.
We have the rental records from 2016 for the vehicle that he used.
Why?
Because we went and looked for it, because he told me.
Because I was talking to him.
That's clear. You were talking to him. I don't.
This is my fault because I was talking to him. This can't.
We have to control what we can control.
No.
We're to the point, the younger female that you've always described, is she the one that pointed a gun at you? Is that true or not?
Oh, no.
You do know, you told me earlier. So earlier today, when we were talking, I asked you what did the younger one do? You told me the younger one pointed a gun at you. and let you go. That's what you said.
She let me go.
Yeah, you let yourself go. You let yourself out of the backseat. Never even said bye to James. Never a thank you, never a nothing. Just an out.
No.
Yeah, that's what James told me. Until you can start telling me that James is a liar and start pointing things out, James passed a polygraph.
This is my fault. It's my fault that I was talking to him. It's my fault that I was flirting with other men. It was such a stupid thing to do. I love my husband.
Flirting
I
with
love
other-
my children.
That's understandable.
It's just stupid for
Here's the deal though,
flirting with other
Sherri.
men.
Flirting with other men, not a crime. Lying to me today, yes, a crime. Big difference.
Telling your story of what happened to you isn't a crime.
And I know you're scared of what Keith is going to say and do, what's going to happen with you and your family. Those are real concerns. But we also need to understand the truth. And you're in the best position to give us that. You keep saying that it can't be him. The DNA doesn't lie. It's him.
You were talking to
And
him.
now's the opportunity for you to tell us.
I was talking to him. I was talking to him.
And we've
I
talked
started
about...
talking again when his brother died.
Okay.
You started
That makes
talking
sense.
again what?
When her brother died.
Oh, sure.
And that makes sense. The problem we have is the actions after the talking, after the flirting. There was a big difference between talking on the phone and getting in a car with somebody. So are you saying that James got two females to kidnap you? Is that what you're trying to say?
I don't know.
What do you mean you don't know? So if James's DNA is on
I
you,
don't know.
are you, so either we're still saying the younger girl pointed a gun at you, or we're saying we don't know. You've already told me that today, that a younger girl pointed a gun at you.
You said you didn't want her to get caught. So are we still talking that the female let you go?
That's where we're at. And I don't know doesn't add clarity on simple questions, Sherri. A very easy question. Did James pick you up? You told me earlier that a girl pointed a gun at you. Is that detail, which one's true? It's only one. Only one of those are true, Sherri. You've told both of them. I've told one, you've told the other. Which one's true? Does James need to go to jail for all this stuff that you asked him to do?
I did not ask for this.
No, nobody asked for this. Sherri, I believe you. Nobody asked for this. Nobody asked for ABC News to park out in your driveway.
There was no way you could have predicted that this was going to blow up and to be as big as it was. Not even God thought it was going to turn into this big. Even when he first got the call, he didn't think that CNN and ABC and everybody was going to care.
I'm going to find Sherri in a couple of days because I found Donovan. I found the people some of the people you were talking to. I've never known about your work cell phone.
Stupid.
But we're beyond that small discretion.
Stupid.
We've talked about that discretion. We've talked about Donovan, right? Remember?
So stupid.
We talked about Donovan.
So stupid.
Who picked you up? Was it James or was it a female that pointed a gun at you? Can you please answer that? You're shaking your head no.
I
So-
will not get. I'm not talking to you about that. I'm not going to get anybody in trouble. I've told you before, I do not want anyone to get in trouble.
Well, you're going to get yourself in trouble at this point. That's where we're at. So either James
I didn't
picked
do anything wrong.
I know you didn't do anything wrong. Right now, you're not telling the truth, which is doing something wrong. That's where we're at. James put himself on a polygraph. Talked to FBI agents. He talked with Peter and I for 6 hours. He told us everything, Sherri. You told us so many truths because you put yourself through.
True.
They were true. You're
But
absolutely
you
right.
don't want to talk about the women.
So, but the one.
You're saying that it's James.
No,
We're saying James's DNA was on you. We know you were in that room at his house.
Then who
So the
is
question
the
is-
woman? Then who is the woman?
Well,
Okay.
the
That's
woman,
why we're asking you. It
did the
wasn't the
woman
woman.
point a gun at you and put you in the car, yes or no? Is that where we're at?
Don't remember.
You don't remember if a female pointed a gun at you and put you in the car? Is that what you're saying, Sherri?
I've always told you I don't remember getting in the car. I've always told you I don't remember getting in the car.
Correct. But did a female point a gun at you, yes or no?
Remember.
Yes or no? It's not a remember thing. You've already told me that today.
You know who she is. I know you do.
No, it was always
You
Keith.
know who she is.
Yeah,
No,
the
you
lady we
don't.
showed you is another raise. No, I know James opened the door for you. Whether you want to forget how you got in the car, I'm okay with that. But you've already established today. That's why I asked you today. What did the younger girl do? You said she let me go and she pointed a gun at me. We didn't talk about how you got in the car. Right now I'm asking you. Did a younger female point a gun at you? Yes or no? What?
I know you know who she is. I'm
We're
not
on the
saying
wrong-
it. I don't want her to get in trouble.
She's not
I
getting in
know you know who she is.
You're getting in trouble.
I am
That's-
not. I didn't do anything.
Right. But right now, answer this one question. Did a female point a gun at you, yes or no?
I am done speaking to you until I talk to a lawyer. I will not arrest her. I am with my children because of her.
I'm disappointed, Sherri.
I don't understand. There is no way that James, he loves me.
You did love me. I agree.
Sherri, if you want to talk to your attorney, that's fine. We can wrap this up. If you want to keep talking to us, that's a separate story. But you said you wanted to talk to your attorney, so like I said from the beginning, you're free to go and you can go. I would ask you one more question, just for your own welfare. Do you feel like harming yourself?
Welfare.
Do you feel like harming yourself?
No, I just want to hug my children and go home.
Okay. Well, you're free to go and do that. If you change your mind and want to come forward and talk to us,
This is all my fault because I talked to other men. This cannot be.
you might have come and served a document to you.
Where is my husband?
I don't know, we're gonna find that out. You know what Keith is? Keith? The one away from Hollywood.
Alright. I'm the idiot husband that stayed around the whole time.
Well, there's not, it's still, we can't tell you a lot, honestly. I don't know what, I told Kelly to let you know some of the details, some of the stuff coming out.
Can we, I mean, from my side, I feel like, my whole world's gonna flip upside down again. Why is that? Why am I always getting held out of things? Like, why can't you just hit me with it?
I did, I told you.
I know, yeah.
Because this happened Monday. We're
No,
Thursday.
you're saying you can't tell me all this stuff.
It's still an ongoing investigation, so you're not gonna find out answers. I mean, there's just, that's the way it is.
can you help me, throw me a bone, and then go, I mean, she made it up, is that where we're going, right? Or is she trying to come up with a whole nother?
We're not gonna give you any additional details. Obviously, you heard the questions, so you can
Yeah.
read through some of those and understand. You've seen some of the photos,
Yeah.
so you know some of the
Well,
investigative work
obviously you
we've
saw me, I
done.
was like, yeah, we found him.
And we did.
Yeah,
But you can also notice your reaction compared to her reaction.
yeah, no, 100%. That's what I'm saying from my side, but now you're telling me, okay, you guys can go home now. Well, do you think I want her anywhere around my kids or around me at all at this point?
And again, we've talked a lot. I don't know what the next stages of this are. That's why.
It's not
that's
us
why I
together,
thought-
I tell you that one.
Whatever those decisions are, I don't know.
But we can all agree that she's not over there, then obviously if somebody can do something like that to her body and try to trick everybody that they're probably not fit to.
It was 4 years ago.
We can't get into that, but I would say, obviously, we are concerned about the welfare. We don't want any kind of domestic dispute between you two. We also don't want,
So give me a quick not legal advice, give me from a sheriff, if I don't want her in my house tonight, what options do I have?
You'd have to get restraining orders. You'd have to get legal stuff.
I'm gonna tell her she has to go to her sister's or something, I mean, she's not going to my house tonight, and I got a call. The next stage of this, please give me the courtesy of telling me when you're gonna announce this, so I cannot be at my home. and make
Probably
sure-
tonight.
Oh, god damn, you're going quick.
We have
Well,
to
I thought you said
control
it's ongoing now.
well,
We have to,
we gotta talk about that, but
it's gonna happen quick.
I understand that,
because
he was
we
thinking tomorrow, I was like, okay,
We
that'll give me
blew
enough
up
time to.
everybody in LA. So there's a hornet's nest in LA.
Mhm.
It only takes one person to go and say, hey, I know what actually happened. I want 10 grand. And now they run to LA News.
Yeah.
It blows up without our control.
Yeah.
So, and I don't know the strategy. We still have to have, we had to get through this before we can get there. But this,
Is there anything you can tell me next? I thought you said you were gonna tell me something when I came back in. Like,
the person that we talked to down there
Mhm.
is absolutely involved.
no, I know
Absolutely
that,
everything.
I know that.
So
I remember
that's
giving
what
you
I'm
guys that
doing.
guy's number, so that, I
But-
thought,
So that's where we're at.
okay. And then what does she say?
we're just gonna ask you to be patient, let it play out. I know it's gonna be really hard, but
I
it
know,
also
right?
makes
But
it easier for
little
you.
kids do though.
Well, the little kids aren't gonna ask you as much as the media will,
No, I
and the
understand
family
that.
members, your own family members.
No,
And
I
you can look at
understand
them with a straight face and say, look, they're not telling me yet.
But like, even Kettle right now, I was like, well, shoot, you guys can give her a ride in the house, I don't even want her in my car right now.
I don't know what Kel said. I was
And that's what he told me, so.
I'm assuming we could arrange for her to get there if that's what has to happen.
Cause I need to make some phone, if you're gonna release it that soon, I'd like to call him.
I don't know what's gonna happen. I can call you today. I'm gonna go from this to another meeting, and that meeting's gonna lead to another meeting, and that meeting's gonna lead to another meeting, and then we'll be figuring stuff out.
Are you saying you want us to help you with transport for her
I
to get it back
think
to the
so, I
house?
don't think, I mean, you gotta give me a couple, I thought you guys were gonna call me back in here with her, so.
Well, she has to leave, so
Oh,
she's free to leave if she wants.
so I think we'll talk, and she's probably not gonna talk in here, so we'll probably go out to the car, and then I'll be like, I'm not going anywhere with you until.
If you guys want to type out in the car and then come back up and tell us if you need assistance, let us
You
know.
have my
I
number.
appreciate that. I think I'm handling pretty good, I didn't punch any walls or nothing. I was just-
We
I'm in
appreciate
shock.
that.
I'm in shock. Okay. Alright, thank you.